How's it going? This is Chris Comments, another edition. Haven't said anything since last week. Last week was, I can't remember. But a little bit has been going on right now. I got to bring up first the migrant situation. There's another wave in Del Rio now. They're all under a bridge. They're waiting to be taken in and be detained, which means they are asylum seekers, not illegal trespassers. And right now, it's pretty much up in the air as to what's going to happen right now. From my best guess, though, is that they're going to be left there under that bridge to be dealt with the heat that's going on right now and any upcoming rains. Which means if they get wet through the rain, they're going to have problems with catching cold or fevers or something like that. And sickness will rise. Now, we still have a Delta variant going on right now. So it's quite possible that there's going to be quite a few people having to be dealing with that. And that's going to be a problem. Now, my worthless governor is still not doing anything. He's having all migrants captured and arrested for trespassing, as if that's a felony. And he's not doing anything to any of the asylum seekers under the bridge. The total amount is so far estimated around 60,000 people. Maybe even up to 100,000 by now. So this is something that I've brought up to Par a few times. What my governor is doing is trying to fundraise a whole mess of money. He's trying to sue the Biden administration for millions and billions of dollars or whatever. And he's trying to claim $2 billion at the very least for a wall. The wall that we all know is just this worthless waste of time to build. Instead of doing something where not only can be helpful to the migrants that come here, but can give tons and tons of jobs to our current Americans. We have linguistics jobs. If we're building holding facilities, you have construction jobs. Holding facilities need plumbing and electricity and air conditioning. Those are three fields in an industrial industry that can provide more jobs. Gestapo Greg isn't doing that. And I'm calling him Gestapo Greg, and rightly so. He's putting stuff like abortion bills, anti-abortion bills, where people like me who drive them to Planned Parenthood, whether they're for an abortion or not, can be reported on as an accessory to an abortion and charged $10,000. And he's letting it all be plausible with anybody that wants to testify to this or report it. Even if it's not true, and he's making that law. He has this 100% golden opportunity to be a hero of some sort, wherever this falls under the lines. Especially by providing good paying jobs for us Americans. But instead, he's doing something like this Gestapo crap. Excuse me. This Gestapo crap. Looking at making us turn on each other for accusational purposes. And it's just downright stupid. So once again, we got another wave of migrants. They're on their way to being mistreated. Gestapo Greg is having law enforcement not be law enforcement, but be data collectors. They're arresting them, they're data processing them, they're doing this, as opposed to just getting out of the way and letting Joe Biden's administration and all the migrant services and all them come down, set up shop, do the data processing themselves, and have them in holding facilities with no reasons for them to leave. And if they do manage to get out of a holding facility, that's where our law enforcement steps up. That's the only thing that makes sense. And that's not what my state governor is doing. Instead, he's just letting everybody bunch up together, having a problem. Nobody's going to stay under that bridge forever. Especially once the rains come in. These guys need shelter, they need a place to stay, they need a way to stay healthy, safe, and free of getting victimized by cartels that are on the other side and cartels that are here in the States. Hold on. Today's date is September 16th, 2021. And we've got a few problems with that. I wanted to talk about Nicki Minaj and celebrities that are anti-vax and anti-mask. Everybody's already doing that. They're poking fun of them, pointing out facts that, hearing about some cousin's friend's testicles is not physical medical evidence of anything, much less concerning a vaccination shot. And I went on to a couple of the conservative stations, and they're ripping it up like it's a travesty of the world. Okay, that it's so anti-freedom of speech to poke fun, to tease rap star Nicki Minaj. That it's a violation of free speech, and it's a violation of rights and critical thinking and free mind thinking and all this good stuff. And it's a travesty, and we're all doomed because of it. Which, I really wanted to jump in there, throw my 2 bits in. Me being just this ordinary worker from Nowheresville, I don't have a celebrity status, but I do have a voice, and I'd like to throw it out there also. And I wanted to laugh, do my fair share of laughing. However, we got this problem over here. We got a problem with the migrants again. And it's one thing when nationals have pride that they're talking a lot of spit about another nationality. I used to live in Florida, so I saw a lot of that. There was some really cool cultures and really cool people that came from different countries and brought their foods and cuisines, and it was really terrific and delicious. But you had that one drawback of nationalist pride, and it was Jamaicans. They hated to be confused for African Americans. Puerto Ricans and Cubans hated each other. There's a difference between Scottish and Irish, don't you forget it. I'm like, hey, all right, no problem. And then the occasional, it was the Jews. Those were all the reasons why I had to come back to San Antonio. Because down here, we don't really judge you by your skin color, your race, religion, your sex, or even sexual preference. Down here, we judge you by one thing: how well you grill. And if you can't grill, can you at least make a decent taco? So yeah, we're just a horse of a different color down here in San Antonio. But yeah, there's always a problem with the people that just don't understand and all this good stuff. And everybody's got their viewpoints, and there's really nothing wrong with being proud of who you are. But honestly, this thing that we have to be blinded and ignorant to our responsibilities in concerning life and preserving it and supporting it and helping it, and just making sure that things don't get out of hand, especially more closer and closer to death. It should be a no-brainer. But it's such a led to such a disgusting path right now. And that's really what I was trying to vent out here. That it's a huge letdown that we've got this going on. Mistreatments, accusations, misguidance, misuse of power, poor decisions, and everything in between those segments. What we're doing now, I'm not really sure. I am to understand that toiletries and water, hydration, have already been sent over there to Del Rio. But I'm not sure what else is going on or what to expect and all this good stuff. Again, because I just recently found out. So I'm actually hoping that everything's going to turn out a little bit more smooth. Now, I would also like to point out the people that are under the bridge right now. They're standing there waiting to be detained. That makes them asylum seekers. And I think I said that earlier in this segment, but I'm going to say it again. That makes them asylum seekers, and they should be tended to in accordance that way. Because if everybody thinks, well, this is the drugs and the problems and everybody's got all this, I said, well, they're not sitting still. The ones with the drugs and the trafficking kids, they're not sitting still. They're sneaking in. And the last thing we need is the cops to be, all right, you, what's your name and all this stuff, while behind their backs, if not underneath their noses, traffickers are just passing through. No, we need the administration, the Biden administration, the government, to step up, ignore Gestapo Greg. We need him to ignore it, and we need the administration to set up shop and start building up more facilities and quarantining the sick and keeping the healthy and working on the next phases of vetting to those that have brought their identification and documents. There's a lot of people that are being turned down, even in Afghanistan, no differently than the Latinos down here. They don't have their documentations because they got destroyed or stolen, or they got ripped off. They're back in their home country. They got sent away before they could even pack. Stuff happens, crap happens, and these things are what take place. Now, for those who have brought their documentations, everything should be fine. The stuff that is not, the people that did not bring their documents, of course it should take longer. They're going to be in there, held into accountability, into a holding facility for as long as it needs to be. And that should always be okay on both sides of the border. Yeah, it's incredibly stupid. And technically it's just this obvious. Now again, this is Chris's comments, a show of common sense on common ground. Now you take a step back and look at this, it is just obvious that the governor is not only not trying to make a productive use out of anything, he's only thinking about himself. Remember, $2 billion out of a $550 net millennia spendings. Okay, that's what's in the Biden plan. That's what Governor Greg Abbott wants, $2 billion. And he wants it for a border wall, which, as far as we can all tell, that's all that he needs. That's perfect for the wall. It's perfect for building. It's perfect for this and that and all this other garbage. And more than likely, it doesn't really need to be that costly. More than likely, any other plan or anything else doesn't have that kind of a rate going on. But this is what he is declaring. Ergo, that's what he wants. He's searching for $2 billion. Easiest scheme that he can do. And he's leaving all of this complications. And that's really what irks me a lot. That's really what irks me a lot. He could have Biden, he could just say, Biden, take care of it. And Biden has his setups and everything going on while keeping the law enforcement doing law enforcement. But it's just so obvious that he's not only got the cops no longer protecting us, but doing clerical work, data collecting, to where horrible criminals are coming in underneath their noses and amongst us. And all he can do is say, well, here's this border wall. It costs $2 billion, which we know we're not going to see. And even if there is somewhat of a wall, it's worthless. As sure as Donald Trump did fundings for the wall, and it fell down the following year. It collapsed on its own. So, to think that Greg Abbott is trying to keep us well protected and save us and all this other stuff, when you know full well, based off of the fact that the wall is worthless, the chaos is now going to be coming in because the cops are going to be too busy. It's just so obvious that this guy's thinking, that Governor Greg Abbott is thinking of his own selfish needs. And that's it. I'd like to say it's because he sold his soul to Putin. It doesn't matter if he did. It's just obvious that he's taken all this much time and effort to indulge himself. We could say that he's following a cult. He's doing something kind of Illuminati thing to destroy America. It doesn't matter if he's part of Illuminati. This right here says that he's doing nothing but service his own greed. That's it. He's doing all this chaotic crap and all of this irregardless to responsibility for his own selfish greed, his own selfish needs. Freemason, Illuminati, what have you, KKK. He could be a part of the KKK. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's not doing it for them. He's not doing it for some white pride crap. He's doing it for this. Plata talks, eh? He's doing it for the money. That's it. He's not doing it because he's a Christian. He's not doing it because he's white power. There's nothing powerful about that fool. He's nothing but a big yapping mouth that carries himself white, talks righteous, but at the same time thinks green. He thinks nothing but that. And it's just this obvious. It's obvious the only one color that's important to him. Now, there was something else, and I really wish I had written all this stuff down. Otherwise, I would have given like this really big report with all of the connecting the dots and all this good stuff. This is already Thursday. I was going to try to make it a Conspiracy Theory Thursday. Thursday just creeped up on me. I'm so sorry. Otherwise, I would have connected the dots and, this whole spiderweb thing and timelines and percentages and all that good stuff. So maybe, I don't know, maybe next week. Who knows? Oh, right. Okay. This migrant, who only goes by the name of Ignacio, lost his documentations in the process of being data processed. Okay? So he couldn't stay in captivity for X amount of time. He stayed there for a good while. He got booted out, sent over to Border Patrol. Border Patrol booted him out after a little bit of time and didn't even do anything because of his he didn't have documentation. They sent him to ICE. ICE didn't know what to do. because this guy didn't have it. So they threw him in a truck with about 6 other men who lost their documentations and dropped them off at a gas station somewhere in I think El Paso. Okay, now those guys sat there for a few days not knowing what to do until an immigration charity person decided to help them out. Okay. And what I mean by helping them out was they still had to live in the streets, because if he took those people, or he or she, I think, took them into her house, that would have been harboring an illegal. You see what I'm saying? And she would have gotten jail time, which is total bullcrap. But this is what goes on. And these guys were dropped off by ICE, the very same organization that released felons, illegals, sex offender illegals. One in Del Rio and the other in Austin. The capital, for Christ's sake. The capital. Okay? These guys were known. These guys weren't just unknowns with lack of papers because they got ran out of town and they got burned in a fire or whatever. These guys were known felons. Known repeat illegal crossing felons. And they got released by ICE earlier this year. It's still 2020. 2021. See, even I'm getting it mixed up. It's still 2021. This was earlier this year. I think March. By ICE. So it's messed up. It's stupid. And again, if Gestapo Greg would just get the hell out of the way of the Biden administration, we wouldn't be having these kinds of problems. These problems are stupid. They have everybody in holding cells, quarantined, just like those kids here in San Antonio. Shit, man. They had healthy kids. They had the sickly kids quarantined in another area. They're being tended to. They were all being fed. They all had their USB ports where they could connect, give some kind of testimony. The only testimony that they were able to do was to say that they were being treated well in regards, despite the fact of what Gestapo Greg said when he came down. Fucker ignores us this entire time. He's ignored us for years and decades, almost his entire career. He comes down here one visit, takes a look into the holding facility, and declares raped little boys and girls are in there, that they're being raped and stuff by the faculty, which again is stupid, because all the faculty are women, and the people that the kids that they're looking after are all boys from age 13 to 17. So how are boys and girls being sexually violated? And to top it all off, within the half hour, the 20 minutes to half an hour time that he just wheeled on in, wheeled out, and then made this outrageous accusation. He's an asshole, man. My governor is absolutely worthless. He's absolutely worthless. We had a tight unit going on right now. We had a very good system going on from the border all the way out to Houston, all the way over to El Paso. And we were weeding out all of the corrupt people. And now it's in shambles. So I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what to expect. I know that right now we're coming up to the last minute. So I'm going to say y'all take care. Y'all take healthy. This is where I stand as a guy with just common sense on common ground thoughts. And I hope y'all are feeling the same way. Leave a message at atownmytown, all one word, no caps. atownmytown gmail.com. Okay, atownmytown@gmail.com. One word. I'll go ahead and post that on the description down below. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. This is Chris from Chris's Comments. Out.